you've kind of segued me into two things here, like in that one sentence. We'll talk about Talia in a second, but Chol, 4 years. Like I know, I'm pretty sure one's got like the AFL's version of a team option, which is just like they'll give him the money
Yeah.
if they want him to, or whatever the AFL's version of that is. But it will be 4 years. He'll be there for that fourth year most likely. I still don't think this is set in stone though, because even though it's like agreed to this contract, like I've never seen like all this contract news so early. Like free agency doesn't
Oh
start for a
no.
couple of weeks, and we've already got a player like agreeing to a team. When does that ever
Yeah,
happen?
it's so weird that this is all happening because I mean it can't be official
Yeah,
anytime soon. I mean we've still got the grand final to play, and I think this bye week in between is what is
yeah.
causing all this news to come early. But Chol, I don't blame him at all for. I mean, who wouldn't want to live on the Gold Coast? Get out of Victoria. You never know what's going to happen in Victoria. Go up, live on the Gold Coast. Brandon Ellis has loved it,
Yeah,
and you get all those extra years of footy guaranteed that you might not get at Richmond, and then you might not be able to find a home after that. So I mean, I don't really blame him at all, and he's great to have around the club.
yeah. And look, it's two to. When does it even start? We'll just say 2 to 4 weeks for the sake of this. That's a long time. There is a chance Essendon come out of nowhere and just be like, all right, well, apparently we're not getting Riccardi anymore. He's 4 years with a $2 extra a season. You can come here, and there's a chance Chol changes his mind. Plus, apparently, GWS has still been interested in a ruck/forward. Apparently, Port have come out of nowhere and have started offering players deals, and Freo have been interested in a bunch of players. There's a chance this guy gets another contract in the next 2 to 4 weeks that he might not be able to decline.
Yeah, I mean, he'll obviously go wherever the contract's best. I think the Gold Coast is hard to pass up for him to go
Mm.
and be a part of that. But I mean, the teams you just mentioned, Freo really need
Oh
another
yeah,
forward down there. Tracy, he looked very good this year, to be honest. He looked very promising, but Taberner, he's just not going to be like a
yeah.
ruck, not a ruckman, a full forward or half forward in a team that's contending for top four. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, GWS have got Jesse Hogan, but Finlayson's supposed to be going to Port
Yeah,
now, which
yeah,
Finlayson doesn't help Port that much, in my opinion. Doesn't make them any better, doesn't make them any worse. He'll just
mm.
be a
Just be
solid
there.
player
Well,
there.
he didn't really get a game this year either, did he?
No, but he was supposed to be their number one forward after
Yeah,
Jeremy Cameron was gone. But Jesse Hogan is such a talent that he finally got some continuity this year and finally strung together some good games. And he looks like
yeah.
he'll be their key forward for the time to come.
And the other thing is too, Cho. I think the reason why he's going to Gold Coast is because he wanted to go to Queensland. But something
Yeah.
to note is, Oscar McInerney, he had some slight knocks here and there this season. There's a chance he could be in for an injury very close. And their backup ruck, who like never gets a gig, I don't even remember his name, but he requested a
Archie
trade
Smith?
today. Yeah, he
Yeah.
requested a trade, even though he doesn't get a game, so he'll probably just get delisted anyway. But
Yeah.
Brisbane, for all we know, could come out in the next 2 to 4 weeks and say, well, Chol, here's a contract if you want it. Oh, and Hipwood's out. Hipwood's out. Why would Brisbane not come out
Exactly.
of nowhere and offer this guy a contract?
I didn't even think of that, but Brisbane would be a really good suit for him. And I mean, he'd go there, still be in a somewhat contending team. Play with, he won't have pressure to kick goals. I mean, they've got Danaher and Hipwood to come back. Danaher should be hitting his straps this year, having a better year. He still had a
Mm,
pretty decent year, just didn't perform in the finals. But I mean, yeah, I can definitely see him at the Gold Coast more so than Brisbane. And Chol isn't a pure ruckman of sorts, but he can definitely play in the ruck as
yeah.
we
I think
learned
he's
this
more of a
year.
forward in my opinion. I've always
Oh
thought this.
yeah,
Chol is way too weak. And I'm just saying it with his body type. We have seen players like him before. We have seen, there are a couple players in the NBL. Like you look at Deng Adel. He had like the exact same body type as what Marbia Chol is, like the exact same. And one thing he struggled with was weakness. Chol struggled with weakness as well. I don't think these type of players can like ever improve like these real skinny frame type guys that are just like tall.
yeah,
They never seem to get stronger. I have a feeling Chol's best spot is going to be forward. I can't see him being a ruckman
yeah,
really
a
that
hundred
much.
percent. And he's a pretty good kick.
Yeah,
And the
exactly.
reason he's good around the ground and he's in the ruck is because he's so agile and he can do these great things, have those big runs through the on the wing or down the ground that you don't see in other ruckmen. But as you said, he can't be a ruckman because he's just not strong enough. He's definitely more suited to being a forward.
Yeah, and don't expect him to take a mark. If you're a Gold Coast fan, this guy will not. He will not take a mark consistently. He is. I love Chol. He could be a fantastic player, but he's weak. He is very weak, and he will drop any slight contact. There's a chance he drops a mark. Any slight contact at all.
I absolutely love this man. He's in my profile picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I mean, he'll just be down there to take a body off Ben King, which honestly just works in Gold Coast's favour. I mean, they're not probably expecting Chol to go in there and take those big pack marks that he obviously won't. But he could definitely help out King, and he'd definitely play a role in their side.
See, I might disagree with that a little bit though, and the thing is, why I think I might disagree with that is it seems like Gold Coast want to play him as a ruck. They don't seem to want him to play him as a forward because Witts I think is still going to be out for like half this season.
That's what I was about to say, Jared Witts. It won't help them win any more games putting Chol in the ruck. That's all I can say because Gold Coast, they've got to be improving soon, and Rao needs someone to tap the ball down his throat in the middle.
Yeah, and Chol is not going to do that. It's just not going to happen. The perfect play for Gold Coast to go out and get this free agency was Coleman Jones, in my opinion, and they got the wrong one. They got Chol. And I think that was partly due to North Melbourne just coming out of nowhere and saying, all right, we want Coleman Jones and we've got pick 20 and it looks like that's going to be the trade, pick 20 for Coleman Jones. And oh, wow, he would... I believe Coleman Jones would be better for Gold Coast, and I think Chol would be better for North Melbourne. That's just my thoughts on it.
I agree, but the thing is, North it seems like they want him to replace Goldie, and they have so much faith in him. They've given him a 5-year deal.
Wait, for Coleman Jones, wasn't it $400K a year?
Yeah, 400 or 450K a year.
That's good to start off with, but it's not much towards the end if he gets good.
Yeah, we haven't seen that much of him, and we've seen him in the ruck a little bit. He came in for his first game and played ruck in Dreamtime, and he actually played pretty well. But he definitely looks to me more suited down forward, but he definitely sounds like he wants to be a ruckman.
Which is, I don't know. I just think that like if they're gonna play him forward, I think his position is more like Larky / that Lynch, whereas I think Chol would be Chol's. If we're gonna point Chol and we're gonna say, are you more like Rewalt or are you more like Coleman Lynch? He's gonna be more like Rewalt, right? Yeah. Which is the thing is, if I ask Ben King, are you more like Rewalt or are you more like Lynch? He's more like Rewalt. I feel like they needed that Lynch. Yeah, I think they needed that more Lynch player, and I think Coleman Jones is a lot like Lynch. I thought Coleman Jones was perfect for Gold Coast.
Because I didn't want to see Lynch and Coleman Jones in the same forward line, to be honest. Yeah. But it looked like that was what was going to have to happen because Jack was retiring, and I thought Coleman Jones would just stay and come straight into that team. Obviously not the case. He looks really good down forward, to be honest. We saw some great games from him this year, taking those marks, going back into beautiful set shot. I mean, I really like him as a forward.
Didn't he kill like 4 in his second game of his career, Coleman Jones?
Yeah, he came straight into the team and he just tore it up. I mean, it was great to watch. And I was sitting there thinking, oh, look at this. So good for the future. We're going to have this key forward who can come in and also play a role in the ruck. Not to be.
Yeah, I don't think losing Lynch and Chol is really bad for the Tigers at all because Chol, I don't think really fits with the Tigers. And I also think Coleman Jones is too much like Lynch, so I don't think it'd work for the future at all. But with Chol, surely the Tigers get their second round pick. Like we already own their third round pick. They're not going to give us a fourth for Chol, you wouldn't think. Surely we can somehow get their second.
Yeah, and I mean all these picks coming in. I'm certainly not angry about what we're getting back for these players. Pick 20 for Coleman Jones. I'm happy enough with that because I didn't want to see him and Lynch in the same forward line for 5 years. But and hopefully we can use these picks, all these picks that we have, draft 1 or 2 pretty decent key forwards that will fit right into our team for the future, and they'd get games early by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you this question now. I might be putting you a bit on the spot here, But if I was the Suns, so what they have, like pick 3 or something, in my opinion, I think they should really try and trade that for a young inside midfielder. But off the top of my head, I can't really think of who that inside midfielder would be.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you, but they need to get better, but I think they traded pick 2 for Lockie Weller.
Yeah.
And I think they're a bit scared of doing something like that again.
Yeah.
So
has that really ended up? That doesn't really ended up that bad for them though. Like I'm sure if like a Brayshaw would be good, but they're not going to improve that much. With Brayshaw with the team they've got.
Yeah, I really, really, really love Brayshaw, but he wouldn't have become this good of a player that quickly at Gold Coast, I don't think.
Yeah.
And yeah, their midfield. Well, Rao looked incredible in his first year, but when he came in this year after the injury, he obviously wasn't hitting the highs that he was in his first year. But we expect him to bounce back. I agree that an inside mid would definitely be good for them, but again, I think they might be a bit wary of doing that.
Yeah. And hold on, like, let me just say this: they can't draft someone. Like, I'm just saying this right now. They should not draft someone. Like, I'm looking at their draft right now, and they took at pick number 7 Elijah Hollins, who is yet to play a game because he had injuries. But from remembrance as well, he's like an inside mid that I think could play like half forward / wing in the future. Enough with the drafting. You gotta trade for someone. Like it's
exactly,
time.
Bro. It's clearly not helping them getting in all these young players every year. They need. Well, I mean, they had a bit of experience. I mean, Jared Harbour played his last game.
Yeah.
David Swallow.
Do they give Hooley a contract?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Do they give Hooley a contract? Maybe.
Oh. Hooley wants to play.
Yep.
But I don't know if he wants to play somewhere other than Richmond. Like, he really sounded like...
He loves Richmond.
He really just wanted to go on with Richmond, and Richmond were like, nah. So, I mean, I think they would reach out to him. He's that good of a player. He'll come in. He'll be quite good for them. I mean, they really do need some life injected into that football club and some leadership and some culture that GWS has been able to get, and they just haven't. Like, I know GWS got a bit more help than Gold Coast, but I mean, all Gold Coast have done is have Gary Ablett have that great year and then get injured, and then that year fell apart.
Like, they could. I think Tom Mitchell's too old. Like, a player like that who they'll be interested in, too old. But
you have to go younger than Mitchell. Yeah,
when we look at, like, I feel like a dude like Jacob Hopper or Tully would have been good for them. But both of them re-signed. So now I'm bizarred on, like, who's out there that they could actually get for that pick. I really don't know.
I'd hate to be in charge of that list. Yeah. I'd absolutely hate. Like, they've got to be working night and day. They've got to find something. I mean, hopefully they're scouting a bit better than we are. But I mean, I don't trust them to be.
Well, like, the thing about this, right? So the Tigers have pick 7, 15, 20, and 20. No, it's something like that, right? Gold Coast or North have pick 20 rather, and Gold Coast have like pick 23. If you add both of them to the Tigers list, we'll have like 5 or 6 picks in the top 30. Top 25. It's going to be crazy.